We worked on this building since 2015. We started the project. But one of the things that's really important, and I'd like to let people know as soon as they come in, is that this building was designed in partnership with Overland Partners, and everything that we did in this building, everything is about healing and restoring the folks that work here and the clients that come here for services. So one of the things that was really important to me to begin with, what other things can we bring in here that makes it special and that some kids might not have a chance to see? So from the beginning, I really wanted to have artwork in here. I started working with UTSA, and UTSA has a collection of over 3,000 pieces of art from all over the world. And we are the first organization in San Antonio that they've done a loaned art program. This is the Family Resource Room. The building that we're in now is 63,000 square feet. The building that we came from was 13,000 square feet. So we never had a space to have things out for families so that they could get what they needed. So this has been a really, a gift. It's the Whataburger sponsored this. Everything's about dignity. And so we have it set up like a store so the children and the families can come in and select what they want. I think there's not anything worse than going somewhere and them say, here's a bag for a 5-year-old boy, and they don't get to pick what they get. And the same way with backpacks and school supplies, and you'll see we still have those. We've been doing a curbside where families drove through to get those. So one of the reasons this building is so large is not only do we house ChildSafe staff here, but we also have a suite for law enforcement. We also have a Child Protective Services. We have several units here. We have over 30 Child Protective Service employees here. And we have the Youth Center of Texas, which is over here, which is a drop-in center for children domestic sex trafficking. So this area is what we affectionately call it the Kid Cave, and this is where the families and the children wait when they first come in. They'll see their family support specialist, and then they'll get a forensic interview. And this was something that when we were doing the charrettes, I saw this in one of the pictures, and I was like, we got to have that. And it has been the coolest thing because the children love it. The very first day that we had the first child that came in on August 19th last year, she came in and she was just like, oh my God, this is great. This is the best place. And it was so fabulous to see how the children reacted because we thought it was cool, but we really didn't know until they came in. A lot of the children, they don't necessarily get to go to some of the museums. And so because we had this big space, I thought, wouldn't it be really cool if we could have a heritage wall? San Antonio has such a rich culture and such a rich heritage. It was like, we have the Institute of Texan Culture here, which is also part of UTSA. So we collaborated with them to put this first exhibit together. When we bought this property, which was in 2015, it's a 36-acre spot. It's never been developed before. The only thing this property was prior to that was the Owlsbury Homestead. 26 of the 36 acres is in the floodplain. This property goes all the way down to the Salado Creek Linear Park. So the man that we bought the property from, he said, I'll donate that 26 acres that's in the floodplain. And my thing was, that's really great, except we don't do parks. So started working with the city back in 2016, and in 2017 we deeded 20 of those acres to the city. They're working on a trail now. It's contiguous with MLK Park. It goes all the way down to the Salado Creek. So out here you will see our healing garden. 43,000 square feet of planned gardens. It's all xeriscaped. We have rainwater catchment. At the end of our property is Saul's reuse pipeline, so we could also use non-potable water.
So this is our forensic interview suite here. Forensic interviewing is one of the core services that we actually offer here at ChildSafe. Any child who's referred to ChildSafe by law enforcement will arrive to get a forensic interview done, and so the family will be in the holding room over here when they walk through the door, and then the family advocate will meet with the family and they'll actually bring them into a private waiting room that we have here to the right. The private waiting rooms were done, and the idea behind building those were to give a family some privacy while they're telling their story to law enforcement and to Child Protective Services. It's a pretty emotional time when you find out that your child has been sexually abused, and oftentimes children are confirming that outcry here in the forensic interview area. And so we wanted to give them a private space where they can process that information if they needed to cry or they needed to just discuss the next steps of the investigation with law enforcement or Child Protective Services. That's what the family waiting rooms were done for. So we have 6 family waiting rooms here in this wing, and the 6 family waiting rooms correspond with 6 forensic interview rooms over on this side over here that we're going to be stepping into next. So now we're walking into the forensic interview suite. We have 6 forensic interviews rooms and 6 observation rooms. On this side of the building, you'll notice the observation room here. What happens in this space is that law enforcement and CPS are witnessing the interview take place on video. That video is burned onto a DVD, and law enforcement can take that DVD with them, and so can Child Protective Services. Over here, you actually notice a forensic interview room itself. Inside this forensic interview room is where the child and the interviewer actually sit. What you'll see is a partition in there that we built as a result of COVID. The idea being that it will protect the child and it will protect the interviewer.
So now we're heading to the multi-purpose rooms or education center. You'll pay, if you'll note, there's blank walls here. So one of the things that we did, we always thought about spaces where art could be as the building was being designed, and we also reinforced a lot of walls so that we could hang art on them. So this, we really hope to have exhibits, special exhibits down here, and children's exhibits from artwork that they have done. So it was very important for us to have a room where we could, on site, where we could do training and education programs in the community on how to recognize and report abuse. We do training for teachers, we do training for mental health professionals, parents and children and teens. This space will hold about 150 classroom style. We've also actually had a luncheon with Holt Cat last year, and we were able to get 180 people in here for lunch and tables. We have a catering kitchen. We have an entryway. You know, we thought of everything as we were designing. We have built a walkway so the catering trucks can come in and come into the side door. So upstairs we have the waiting space for the counseling department. We also have the counseling department here in this space. And then we have administration, our education and training, and our cafe that's for all the partners and all the folks that are housed in the building. So this is the primary waiting space for families and kids that are coming in for therapy and counseling. You'll notice it being kind of bare, which we've had to kind of remove everything because of the COVID-19. And right now, this space is not being used because we're doing all therapy via telemed right now. So this area is what we call the cafe. It is built for everybody to gather here, and it's been wonderful. My office is right down the hallway. So this is a gym area that everyone wanted. One of the things you won't see in here is the big weights. We do have some weights that are stored now because we don't have folks using this room right now during the COVID-19. But it's just a place where they could come and work out, and we have a lot of them doing it. Then they can take a shower, get dressed. We have the trails that they can use as well. And then out here you can see that we have the ropes course. We have the only adventure therapy program of any children's advocacy center in the country. We've won national and international awards. Prior to this, we used Community and Schools ropes course, so we're very excited to have our own ropes course. It also has, we have picnic tables out there, and we have a fire ring as well. We call it the music room because we don't have any trained licensed music therapists, but all of our therapists are trained and trauma focused. But it's just a really great thing for kids. They really love it. So one of the things about this building is you can be anywhere in this building and be outside in nature in a minute, including the second floor. All the suites, law enforcement suites, Child Protective Services, all the hallways have outdoor exits into the courtyard. So this was a way for us to do something really unique and be where you could get out in nature. This is a gourd that Overland Partners had designed, and they gave it to us as a gift. It's very cool because the kids can and grown-ups could crawl up in there. This is our art room. Again, we don't call it our art therapy room because we don't have any licensed art therapists, but all of our therapists use this and have the techniques to bring the kids in here, and it's really great. Thank you for taking the tour with me today. If you would like to learn more about ChildSafe or set up a safe private tour, send an email to ceo@childsafe-sa.org.